Hello.
Hey.
We're back. It is the TTYL podcast hosted by Adrian and
Sarah.
And it is a cold winter.
It's so Wait,
New York is too cold.
did you get hit with the wind today?
Girl, I thought my face was going to freeze off.
I thought I was going to start flying.
No, for real. It's actually that bad right now in New York, but apparently Boston is worse, and in Texas it's snowing like hard, like 2 to 3 inches.
Really?
Yeah.
When was the last time that happened?
Oh, do you remember? I don't know if you remember, like a couple years back, might have been last year, when it snowed so hard the electrical grid shut down.
Oh.
But everyone was joking that that's a one-time thing, but it's like low-key happening again.
Dang.
My mom's okay though. It's like she's just kind of confused on what to do because she can't leave the house, and then no one in Texas is used to driving on snow, so it's just like kind of like a ghost town.
That's crazy that we have snow in Texas and then the fires in LA.
Damn. Pray for LA.
Prayers out for LA.
Donate money to LA if you can. Today, we are doing book club vibes. We are reviewing a book that we have both read before, kind of.
I've read like a third, but it's enough.
I think you read more than a third.
No, it's like a third.
I feel like over the summer when you were reading it more, I'd like come out and I see like your book. You have a bookmark, right? Mm-hmm. It like moves a little high. Like, oh, Sarah.
The book is called 100 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think. I think.
Do you remember the author?
No. Brianna Wiest or something?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
What? I think so.
So I thought it was a collection of essays from different authors, but apparently it's all her.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I was talking to Dave about this today, and he was asking that, and he was like, isn't that a little pretentious to be like, I have all these essays?
Wait. That's kind of crazy. That kind of makes me respect her more.
Yeah. I guess she's written a lot of other stuff too, and so she kind of compiled
some old things and like
some new things.
101 things to talk about that are like... I mean...
Wait.
What have you thought of it so far?
It's really
good. Like the first third.
Yeah, I really like it. So I'll read like one essay a day if I can. Just because I feel like even if I read more, it's too much information. So I just want one a day to like... kind of think about it that day. I will say the essay that I'm going off of for our book club portion of this. So it's like 102 examples of something. Oh shoot, actually I should figure out what that is. But I saw that she repeated one of the steps.
Oh, like in the essay?
Yeah, she repeated the same thing.
Oh, it's kind of
But she wrote different things about it.
Within the same... Wait, in this book or within the same essay?
Within the same essay.
Oh.
Like, out of the 102 things, 2 of them are the same.
Are you going to talk about it?
No.
Okay. Do you remember what the point is?
No. Low-key, I want to go grab it real quick. Is that worth it? No, it's not. Okay.
No, it's not. Whatever. Who would you recommend this book for?
Everyone in their 20s.
Wait, how did you hear about it at first?
I think TikTok.
Oh.
I would see people just like post random essays.
Only for people in their 20s. So if you're not 20, don't read it.
No. Well, I just think younger 20s is still good. But I think if you're younger than that, maybe it could be helpful. I think it's also one of those books where you it's nice to have in your library for a long time and reference back to it or reread it at different times because different things will stick and speak to you differently.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of wisdom in there. And none of it is too like opinionated, I guess. Like if you were to think otherwise, you wouldn't feel like attacked or anything. Yeah. Like it's pretty much just this is what she thinks, and very like loosey goosey, kind of like all over. You know, like you can take it as you will. But I highly recommend the book. I finished it.
When did you read it?
Like 2 years ago, I think. Before I went to Columbia. This might have been like in between senior year of Purdue and first year at Columbia.
And how did you hear about it?
I thought the title was very interesting. Like literally, we walked into Barnes and Nobles, but I love Barnes and Nobles better than Strand. Sponsor us, Barnes and Nobles. And I saw like it's on like the New York best-selling like rack, and it's just such an interesting title. And then I ended up downloading it from the internet.
Nice.
I don't pay for any books, bro. I just download it all.
I love the feeling of like hard copy though.
I know, but bro, it adds up.
Yeah, it does.
And then when I have a hard copy, I want to keep it, so I don't like borrowing from the library. Like, I just want to hold on to it forever.
Okay, side note, this is like so terrible, but like low-key, it's really easy to steal from the New York Library.
That is so bad.
And I did it on accident my first time because I didn't know how to check out a book. And I thought I checked it out correctly.
Oh, you're so good.
Yeah, and then it didn't print a receipt. But I was like, I'm so confused because I like scanned it. And then it went to the next screen somehow. And then I went to ask the lady, I was like, am I supposed to get a receipt? And she's like, I don't know, maybe not. I think you're fine. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I left. And then I realized
Arrest her.
that it was never checked out.
Arrest her. Do you still have the book?
I have one of the books. The other one I returned like 3 months later.
But you don't have a receipt.
But you just drop it off.
Oh,
yeah.
I see. That'd be so funny. They like recheck the book in and they're like, wait, it never left the library.
Yeah. They're like, what the heck?
Yeah, one of my friends borrowed me a book and she asked me to return it to her because it was from the library, but she never like followed up with me, so I still have it in my room.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah. Don't arrest me, arrest the person who borrowed it to me.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Do you feel like you remember stuff from this book? Like, would you read it again?
I think I read the book when I was in a very like emotional. I wouldn't read. I don't think I'd. I don't know. I remember feeling like I learned a lot.
Yeah.
But because that was also when I read it when I was very like highly emotional. Part of it was school, part of it was like personal life stuff.
Yeah.
So I think some passages resonated with me a little more than others. But also like the ones for the book club portion of it later I've picked kind of also like reflect those like versions of me too. Some of these things I read and I'm like back then it meant a lot to me, I think. But now I'm just kind of like, I can appreciate why I like those back then.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I'm reading this book when I was 24, 25. A lot of the things that I'm reading, like there are some things where I feel like I had already learned that lesson. So it was just nice to reiterate. But there are definitely other things where it reminds me to like push myself out of a certain perspective or mindset that I was having before.
I think a big part of it isn't necessarily that you're like, oh my God, this is so like riveting. You're learning something new every single page. But it's like maybe you already had like the thoughts of it there, but like just hearing someone put it down in a way that's like, you know, structured and orderly. It's nice to like see that on a page.
Yeah, totally. Okay, this is like kind of unrelated, but when I was 24, I feel like I was building a lot of different perspectives. And then 25 was like what I need to know is already inside of me, but it's like having to accept it or like drawing it out. Like when Duchess did our tarot card reading, she was like, I'm not going to tell you anything you don't know. I'm just going to confirm things that you already do or like that you are deep or inside of you, you know? And sometimes I feel like therapy is like that now, where it's like I feel like I know what I need to do, but I just need like confirmation. Actually, maybe that's
I think that's
maybe
just
only for
because
some
you're
things.
in the era that you're in, though.
Yeah.
Like if you go to, I think intention matters. If you're going to therapy to genuinely learn advice, their experience is going to be different from like what you're going through, right? But maybe that
That's
just means
true.
you're like in this era of your life where you know what you want and like you just need a little encouragement to go get it, and that's fine.
Yeah.
That's better than like, actually nothing is better or worse. It's just different
It
phases
just is.
of life.
It is what I
It just is. That's crazy.
No, maybe actually no, that's a good point. Maybe it's also because the therapist that I was seeing, I didn't really like it because it was like structured and
yeah, when you told me about your therapy experience, I was kind of confused too. I was
Yeah.
like, mine was not
it's
like
kind
that.
of like a program. I think yeah.
I don't like that. That shouldn't be how. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move towards the book club portion of it.
Yay.
We keep talking about it. So Sarah and I are going to kind of share quotes from pieces that we've read in the past, or I think yours are all from the same piece. And then we're going to kind of talk about it like personally, and we'll kind of see where the conversation goes. And if we have
Word.
no thoughts, we have no thoughts.
No thoughts, just vibes per usual.
Do you want to go first? Because you
Yeah, I have
more
like
than
6.
me.
Okay. My first one, guys, I wish I remembered what essay this was part of. It's kind of bad of me. But anyways, this was actually the only essay that I decided to take a little like tab thingy sticker and like sticker this essay.
Oh, you
So that's how
actually,
you
like, marked
know.
it up?
Just
Kind
like
of.
put a sticker on it.
Oh,
but it was the only essay that I
cute.
like wanted to whip it out for. I
That's
think
so
it was because it had
cute. Whip it out for.
It's because it had 102 like bars. Okay, so the first one is it says learn to differentiate what's actually happening from what you're currently thinking about. I think for me that resonated a lot because my reality is different from reality, or like I'll interpret the way that I look at life is through my perspective, which doesn't necessarily align with everyone else's. And sometimes that's fine, but sometimes that can be toxic if I'm like basing other things off of that.
I was just going to say that. My first immediate thought is that I understand how that's like a positive thing, but also make space for your own perspective too.
Yeah, that's true.
Like it's a balance. Like everything's perspective. Validate what you're going through and your thoughts and whatnot, but also appreciate that your perception is but a small like part of like what's actually going on.
Yeah.
No, I do like that though.
I think it's also like it's taught me to ask if I'm spiraling or if I'm just like thinking about something. It's reminded me to ask myself like, okay, is what I'm spiraling about actually true, or is it something that I made up in my mind? And then that kind of helps. Feel like,
yeah, especially when you're spiraling, like when the conviction of what you're going through feels so real, it's hard to like stop.
Yeah.
Like to zoom out almost.
Yeah.
So even like with that, I think about like always like try to like find friends you like really trust to give you like real like shit of like real advice, you know?
Yeah.
Like not the ones that'll just like support you no matter what you go through. And I think, you know, it's very important just having like this close like supportive friends that you can trust.
Call us out on our shit.
I'll call you on your shit.
You do, and I appreciate it.
Was that your first one?
Yeah.
Okie dokes. All right, mine are a little longer than that, but it's a mouthful.
Wait, actually, so you have 3, right?
Yeah.
Should I just do 2 and you do 1?
Sure.
Because mine are shorter.
Yeah.
Okay. My next one, I low-key didn't write like extra notes, but it goes, fire can burn your house down or it can cook you dinner each night and keep you warm in the winter. And your mind is the same way. I think I remember when I first read that, I was like, whoa, that's so true. Because like fire can be dangerous, but if you use it for the right things, it's fueling and productive. And I think kind of the same with like your brain and your energy. And sometimes I think about that in terms of like nerves versus excitement. Like if I'm nervous, I just, since it's the same hormones, I try to just like channel excitement instead. And it makes it like a little bit less nerve-wracking.
Dude, not to even like read into it that much, but I also think that like says something about the way you see yourself, like in terms of when we talk about like your self-perception of yourself and how we're always like you need a little more like confidence in yourself. Like I feel like you probably see the worst parts of yourself sometimes. Like you're too hard on yourself, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know, practice. Like do you feel like you see the good in yourself more than you see the bad in yourself?
No, that's I feel really seen. I think for a long time, I'm naked. For a long time in the past, I think I would kind of focus on my shortcomings or just like constantly want to improve those things. But yeah, I think recently I've been more open to accepting that I have good qualities too and like embracing that.
It's not even your fault though, because I feel like part of it is like the society we live in. I think like the narrative or kind of like the theme is like how do we, like even like New Year's, like how do we become better, like how do we change, how do we like learn and like grow and whatnot. But like all of those like thoughts come at the expense of like there's something for you to grow from.
There's
something that you're lacking. Exactly. Yeah. So
and it's like you have to be humble
toxic.
Too.
Yeah. You can't celebrate yourself.
Yeah.
Then if you celebrate too much, you're arrogant.
Yeah.
But no, it's hard. It's just you need to see both sides, you know, but hopefully like more good than bad.
Yeah. I think that kind of was some from my
childhood trauma.
Everything from my exploration of or like building confidence last year as like my quote unquote word of the year. Do you feel like
percentage wise you're a little better like now versus
I've leveled up
to 1.
No, yeah, I feel like when I think back to like me last year at this time, definitely. I
mean, at the end of the day, I do think like your perception of yourself will like permeate to everyone else. If you see yourself in like a negative mindset, your friends, I don't think your friends will like ever call you out like, hey, you're slacking here, but like I think strangers you meet will definitely like feel that energy, you know. So
yeah, actually I agree with that a lot. I feel like how you think of yourself is how other people will think of you too. Kind of
come across as badass bitch.
Thanks.
No, I'm kidding.
Damn it. Wait.
Asshole. No. I'm kidding. You do. No, but yeah, I think no one like meets you and says, "Oh, Sarah's insecure," you know. So you're doing a good job.
Thanks.
Oh, fire.
All right.
Okay.
Up next.
My turn. All right. So this is about being fearful. They don't think that being fearful is a sign they're on the wrong path. The presence of indifference is a sign you're on the wrong path. Fear means you're trying to move towards something you love, but your old beliefs or unhealed experiences are getting in the way. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, I feel like that's from the essay that I'm in.
Really?
It sounds familiar.
I don't know what
Same
the title.
author, so whatever.
Same shit. Long story short, like I think sometimes when we're like scared to do something, we feel like we're not like ready or whatnot. But I think on a more important factor, being indifferent or like stagnating, is you're on the wrong path.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can remember when I read this, it was kind of like when I was thinking about getting back into relationships, and like I am still working through and was working through like the fear of just like being loved, you know, like having that person. And for the longest time, or even like still, I'm working through it. It's just like I'm almost scared to be loved again because of like, you know, what could happen from it at the absence of loss.
Yeah.
But I think that just means that I care a lot about like my SO and like wanting the relationship to work, or like there's a lot of thoughts. But yeah, I think the indifference part was also interesting. It's like when you stop caring, that's like when you're on the wrong path.
Yeah. That's the saddest. Because like if you're happy and things are great, that's like great. But if you're like upset or sad or like fighting or something, I don't know. It's just like there's still something there to fight for, I guess. But then yeah, if you just don't care, then that's like...
But even outside of relationship wise, even like doing your job, or for you like finding a job, like it's scary as hell.
Yeah.
But at least you care. Like you're putting in a lot of work to build those connections, to build your resume. And just like, yeah, I think that quote like kind of reminds me to do things that are hard, and it's okay if you're scared of doing it, because I think out of fear you'll always grow and learn something no matter what.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it just like go through the motions of doing it, then I think you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
I feel like that's comforting when you're in the moment of feeling the fear, and then you can remember that, and then it's a little bit more like you can see the bigger picture of why you need to feel this, and that like you'll get through and you'll be okay, but you don't have to fear.
I wonder if indifference and routine are the same.
I don't think so.
Why?
In relationship or...
Just in general? That's hard.
Routine is like... I can love my routine, or like I can know that my routine builds something for me.
What context routine is too, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Even like in a relationship, if things feel routine, doesn't necessarily mean it's indifferent either, I think.
I guess indifference is more so like you don't care.
Yeah.
Okay. I can get behind that. Routine is not bad in your relationship. All right.
I think I fear routine in a relationship.
Really?
Yeah, but...
That's inevitable.
Yeah, but I think I've also learned some ways to...
Spice it up.
I
have one about relationship. I'm curious about your perspective in a sec. But
okay.
Yo, Todd.
All right. My next one is take the instances in which you're most uncomfortable to mean that it's time you expand yourself. So this actually is really closely related, I feel like. Basically, the rest of the paragraph is like, you need to learn to think differently, see differently, do differently. You need to open yourself. If you don't, you'll be stuck in the cocoon phase forever.
Cocoon phase? That's so cute.
Become a blossoming butterfly.
Is that what it says?
No.
Oh. I'm like, damn, Brianne.
So similarly to your last point about fear, when I feel myself being uncomfortable in a situation, I know I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, and I get really excited now because I'm like, okay, this is good. Like I need to do something to grow myself and like experience something different than what I'm used to, especially because girl has been home and working from home for the past several months.
Bro,
so
you're basically part of our furniture collection at this point. I could come back.
Pillow on the couch.
You're just no, synonymous with correct.
I will be out here like sleeping and taking a nap by the time like some of these guys get home, and I'm like on the pillow, like blankets on top of me, and this guy will like not see me at all. It's crazy. He'll come out after my nap and be like, were you here this whole time? I'm like, yeah.
Lifeless.
I am lifeless.
I'm dead. God.
I'm alive, but I'm dead.
Back to being uncomfortable though.
But yeah, so I think like in the past too, whenever I'd feel uncomfortable, I would just be like so, what's the word? Uncomfortable.
Wait, I was just... Sorry, continue your thought and I'll add to what you're saying.
Now, like I'll still be uncomfy, but I'll know the bigger picture again. That like at the end of the day, this is good for me.
I was just gonna say, I think like as I was younger, like maybe in like undergrad, I think it felt very comfortable and it was fine because I was happy and shit. But like, I think as I'm getting older, like you said, it's like learning how to embrace the uncomfortableness and making it positive. I think like, don't be in a bad situation. I think that's different from being uncomfortable. But
yeah,
like,
that's true.
like, don't purposefully put yourself in a bad situation to grow. But I think like being uncomfortable means like doing something you're not used to, and you're getting like a positive aspect out of it, you know. And like as I'm getting older, I really appreciate those experiences.
Yeah,
it makes me want to say yes to more things, you know, like meeting new people, doing like new opportunities and all that stuff.
Yeah,
you know.
Yes, girly.
And it's like, it's New York, like go do shit, you know.
True.
Go meet shit. You can
speed run life.
Speed run your 20s. That'd be a cool podcast name.
Speed run your 20s.
Because then we can't do it after we're 20.
Speed run your 30s.
Speed run your 30s. Rebrand. But no, I totally get behind that.
Yeah. Speaking of, hope you like the rebrand that we did last week.
New Year, new us, baby.
Yeah.
We can talk about that more in the end.
Anyways, all this, like our past 2 points, also reminds me of this one time I was really anxious about going to this networking thing at work, and I was talking to one of my coworker friends, and she was basically like, look, like it's okay to be nervous, like you're nervous because it's important to you, like you actually care. And I was like, oh, maybe I do care, dang it. I don't know, I guess I just like didn't realize that I did care about networking, because I've always been like afraid of it. So that gave me a little bit more push to be like, I guess like know why I'm doing it, because I do care.
We shy away a lot from negative emotions because we associate negative emotions with like something bad, like nervousness, stress, anxiety, and all that stuff. But not to say bad situations don't exist, but also like I think a lot of good things come out of like negative emotions.
Yeah,
like you said, the networking stuff, like me and like love and relationships and whatnot. I like,
yeah,
again, bad situations exist.
Oh, your like fear of love thing reminds me of no risk, no reward.
Damn, high key.
Yeah,
you gotta put yourself out there. You never know what you're gonna find.
Though, yeah, I feel like I'm a little bit more guarded now, but I feel like there was something else that I wanted to say about that, but I forget. Okay, so my next is stop pretending you know what other people are thinking. Fire.
Damn.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say before.
About the uncomfortable shit?
Yeah. The nerves, the stress, like those feelings is kind of like one of the first ones that I was saying about the fire. Like they can be like disastrous things,
sure.
But they're also useful things that like our body biologically developed to, I mean, maybe in a different context back in the day when we were like living in a different environment,
like hunting.
Literally. Okay, sorry, we switched over to our iPhone because the camera died again. Anyways, the fire thing, you can use it for good, nerves and everything. Okay, so back to this next one. Stop pretending you know what other people are thinking.
Facts.
Okay, so this one took me a while to like really understand and like put into practice.
Are you illiterate? Sorry.
No, I'm illegal.
Okay.
I think this is honestly something that I use like daily now. But basically, like what you think that people are thinking is still a projection of yourself and what you're thinking. Until you realize you can't control other people's thoughts about you or like anything, you just like are set free. That sounds really dramatic.
No. I think, okay, so I actually saw another quote similar to that. And it's about like people pleasing, and they're along the same lines. When you realize that you can't control how people perceive you, you can only control what you do. That's when you stop like people pleasing. So no, I completely agree with that. It's just like, I think sometimes we do things to make like another person like feel good or feel happy or whatever. But if you're always living according to someone else's like thoughts or feelings or vibes, you're literally just like being a puppet almost. Yeah, you know,
you don't have your sense of self.
Yeah, sense of self. I remember like that was like a couple podcasts ago we did like who we are like as a person.
Oh yeah, like identity.
Yeah, and then I remember you mentioning how like if you've been like people pleasing your entire life, who are you like to yourself, you know?
It's hard
to, a very scary thought.
Back, yeah,
when the person you should be people pleasing is yourself.
Oh yeah. But then it's like hard. A pendulum, because if you do that too much, then you're just like a narcissist. There has to be some balance.
It's all balance. But I'm just making weird sounds. I have no comment. Pleasing yourself would make you a narcissist.
Like without any regard to other people.
Okay, fine. Please yourself in moderation.
No,
do it in a healthy
please
manner.
yourself.
But also, I think what would please yourself would be to like be a good person, you know, or like it's not always like selfish, you know. Do you agree?
Yeah.
You can be happy and everyone else be happy too.
That's facts.
Doesn't
There's
always
enough
have to be
happiness
like
in the world.
All right, you ready for mine?
Yes.
This is bars.
Okay.
Are you committed to a lifetime of growing with and alongside another human being, or is your mental image of love something that allows and supports unconditional acceptance that is in reality complacency?
What does that mean?
Okay. Down for you, Spark Notes edition. When you're finding a partner, do you want to find someone who is like committed to a lifetime of growing with you, or it's like your definition of love, like someone who just like loves you, supports you, unconditional acceptance, and that in reality is complacency?
Oh, so like someone that doesn't call you out for stuff.
Exactly.
But just supports you regardless of
Exactly.
anything. Interesting. Can it be both? Nurturing,
I think it's hard.
like nurture, like grow with you in a nurturing way. I feel like that's still supporting, but also like, wait,
Okay,
I feel like you can
let's-
support and grow at the same time.
But what if they never? Okay, let's just talk about extremes.
Okay, yeah,
Because I think on one hand, it's nice to. Okay, obviously you can find someone that does both.
yeah.
But if you had to prioritize one, what would you choose? I'm team A. And I also think what you want also depends on your personality too.
I think
But for
growth,
me,
yeah.
Yeah, I like want someone who like pushes me to change and grow. Like I don't want to be the same person that I was.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even at the result of like arguing and of like, you know, and all that stuff.
I think I want to always be inspired by them to like constantly try my best in
Mhm,
everything.
mhm. I want someone who like, well, okay, my current partner fulfills that.
Mhm.
But like, holy shit, one big regret I have with my last relationship is I got so complacent.
Mm.
So for me, a big part of me is like my fitness. And like that to me is it's a depiction of my health, my like mental health and like all that stuff. Holy shit, I was so complacent. And okay, part of it is school. But that's like right now, like I tell Rebecca, like, bro, if I'm getting fat, tell me. Like I need you to tell me that, like, don't let me be complacent. Push me to keep trying hard for you, you know? And I think that's what I want in a partner. I want both of us to be, it's like partnership, you know? It's not one taking care of the other. I kind of don't like the who wears the pants in a relationship because it insinuates there's like a power kind of imbalance. But I think it should be the same, almost. Maybe a little higher on one end, you know?
That's like a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole other conversation. This quote means a lot to me just because I had to reflect a lot on what I wanted in a partner for me to begin to love again.
Yeah.
And I think if you're dating, this is my opinion, unsolicited advice from Adrian.
Let's go.
If you're dating, it's okay to not know what you want because that's the whole point. You're supposed to date multiple people and figure out what you want, what you don't want. But when you're ready to like be in a long-term relationship, you should know what you want. Like don't like play those games under the guise of like wanting to be in love or in a relationship or like have a boyfriend and girlfriend, you know?
What's a long-term relationship? Like how long?
I think a long-term relationship is someone you want to commit like time, energy, like truly commit your emotions to. I think like a situationship or something. Actually, I retract what I said about
What?
having to know
What you want?
what you want. No, you should know what you want.
Well, chat, should you know what you want before you get into a long-term relationship?
I think
I mean, it depends
so.
on what things you're talking about knowing. Like next 5 years or like what you want from a partner, like what you want a relationship to look like.
I think you should know how you want to be loved to the T. That way, if something happens, like bullshit happens, you know you're getting out of it.
Okay,
None of that, like
your boundary or like your is it boundaries?
Yeah, your boundaries there. Like no,
Yeah.
That way you're not like, oh, he like said something to me, like because I love him, I'm gonna unconditionally accept,
Yeah.
you know, this.
Know what you will put up with and what you won't. Your standards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I feel like there's part of dating is also to learn how else relationships can be and
that's my thought on this.
cool. That was a good one. Okay, my next two. So the first one is understand that your sense of self is entirely a mental thing and it's the foundation of your sanity. If you believe you're the kind of person who can bear pain or loss, you will be the kind of person who can bear pain or loss. If you believe you're worthy of love, you will experience love when it comes. I feel like that's pretty in line with everything else we've been talking
It's
about.
kind of like manifestation.
Yeah, that's what I literally wrote down. I was like, manifesting. Yeah, but I think for me, how I've like channeled this into my life is like, if I want something, it's that concept of like, imagine how you would feel if you already had that, and then like that's how you will accept it into your life, or that's how you will attract it into your life, because you already have space for it in a way, and you know what it feels like.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
We can talk about that later. I was gonna like kind of talk about what I think the book has like taught me in general, but it kind of relates to everything, so we can save that for the end.
Okay, don't remember it. Don't forget it.
I'm not gonna forget it.
Okay, and then my last one is learn to see each day from the perspective of your older self. I love that so much because sometimes I'll get nostalgic and look back at my younger
Say
self.
it one more time.
Learn to see each day from the perspective of your older self.
Ooh, what does that mean?
So like pretend like you're 36 looking.
Already there.
You look at, dude.
Continue.
I'm kidding. Yeah, because sometimes I'll look back at my younger self and I just have so much compassion for her. I have like really fond memories of when I was younger, and sometimes I'm just like, I just really enjoyed that time. So now I think about like, if 30-year-old Sarah were to look back at me now, I think I would, like, how would I want to think of me now? Basically,
I see.
So how I'm shaping that is like, okay, that means I just want to try my best now. I want to try to go out of my comfort zone now. I want to...
Okay. I see.
Yeah.
I got it.
Not regret
No
things.
regrets.
No regrets. But I think it also makes me more grateful to be living the life that I am living in the moment.
I totally
and just like
get
more
that.
present.
Hey, you know, they found out alcohol is the top one like carcinogen apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Slay.
But then I don't give a fuck. I'm still gonna...
Your New Year's goal,
up.
try to...
I mean, yeah, I don't want to live life and look back and like, I regret not taking... You know what I mean?
Taking a shot.
Like, you're gonna die eventually.
Yeah. What's one more shot?
What's one more year of drinking compared to the rest of my life?
Shaving off the years.
No, I totally get that.
I feel like it's especially bad if you have Asian glow, because then you just like don't have the enzymes to break it down, so it's just circulating in your body. Yeah.
Asian number one.
Great.
I can definitely look back and appreciate like all the hard stuff I went through. And even like the trauma episode, our canon event one, we appreciate what happened. I don't think it was nice in the moment, but we wouldn't be who we are now, you know?
I think I wish I had more support.
But now you know you need the support.
I wish I had more emotional support when I was a kid.
Shit.
Because I feel like I'm like supplementing all of that like now in my 20s, which is... honestly, that's probably pretty normal, TBH. At least it's happening.
It's hard because, like, you could also argue, like, I don't think you'd be as healthy as you are right now if you didn't have those experiences.
That's true.
But, again, like you said, I don't think child Sarah deserved to go through all that stuff, you know?
Yeah. Well, you didn't know her. She could have deserved it.
You probably deserved it. You fucking bitch.
Okay, what's your last one?
You either let yourself feel everything or numb yourself into feeling nothing. You cannot select emotions. You are either in accord with their flow or in resistance to their nature.
Whoa.
I think it just goes back to, I think we talk about like, you know, you want to be like a happy person or whatnot. We should just be a person. I think especially for like us who are Christians, when we're taught like when bad things happen, it's like God's will or God's plan. And a lot of times that can be like the automatic response. Like, you did bad on your exam? Let us pray for you. Like,
let us pray.
And my personal opinion, I think that's a very toxic way to go about your emotions. I think as much as there's space for God, there should be space for yourself to feel angry, to feel sad and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like saying a blanket statement of, I'm going to pray for you, or things will be better. Like, even from a non-Christian perspective, oh, things will be better if you give it time. I don't give a fuck. Like, in that moment, I just want to be sad and like someone to validate.
When you tell him things will be okay.
Yeah.
He's like, bitch, I know.
I know that. I don't need to reiterate what I know. Shit. It's just like, exist and be alive and recognize that your emotions are here. They're a reflection of you. And as much as you're going to have bad emotions, you're going to have good emotions too. But as much as you have good emotions, you're going to have bad emotions too.
Yeah. And it's not like a negative to have bad. It's just part of it all.
I like look I reflect on like my very, very bad days. And then I look on my happy days and I'm like, holy shit, like the sheer like joy I find from my good days kind of feels better knowing that I had a bad day, you know?
Yeah. Don't know the rainbow without the rain.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah. No, I get that. And I think like, wait, what was the bulk of that quote again?
It's like you can't be selective with your emotions.
Oh,
like you should either just feel all your emotions or you're going to feel resistant. Dude, I was going to say, can we talk about your breakup on camera?
Yeah.
You tried so hard to be happy.
Did I?
When you first broke up. Yeah. You were like, oh, I'm fine, like I'm okay, like to us, like the roommates, and then you're just back in your room like fucking crying. We're like, oh, there she goes again. And then like some afternoons you'd be like, oh, like I'm doing fine, and then we're just sitting down, and then you just break down.
No, I think I held space for my emotions. I think I genuinely, like, during the day I would be fine, and then at night I would like be really sad.
But I think it's also our immediate response after something like that is you want to be okay.
Yeah, it took time for like the deep sadness to sink in.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like not enough time to fully absorb what was going on.
I mean, honestly, I don't know 100% how you were feeling, but I know like when I broke up, I was like, I'm ready to flirt. Like, I'm ready to go out and do shit. I thought I was healed in like 3 months from my long ass relationship.
When did it hit the hardest?
Like when I was in my, like in May, like, so I broke up in January. In May, like it hit me like, oh shit, I'm sad. You know, like for the first like 4 or 5 months, I was like, I'm okay, like I'm throwing back shots, I'm living it. And then May came around, and I was like, oh fuck me.
It sunk in.
Yeah, and then just recognize it's part of the process. There's nothing wrong with being sad. It's okay.
Yeah, I feel like now no, dude, I used to be like so upset when I was sad because I did not hold space for it. I was just like this was like when I lived in LIC, I remember.
Yeah.
And then actually, like one time I talked to Caleb, our roommate, and I asked him because like I was sad at some point, and I was like, do you ever like get upset that you're sad? And he's like, no. And I'm like, what? Like,
no, I get
people
that.
can think like that. And then that like literally changed my brain chemistry because I was like, oh, I guess you can just be sad and just let it pass through.
I feel like from our conversation, like one thing I really am feeling right now, there's such a negative vibe around negative emotions.
Yeah.
Like,
I was so scared of it.
Like, don't be a Debbie Downer. Anxiety is bad. Nervousness means something is wrong.
Yeah.
But it's just like a thing for you to move forward, you know?
Yeah. Again, the fire.
Like you're never going to go back. Like things move forward no matter what you feel.
Yeah.
You know?
I think lately too, so now I like let myself feel everything, and I think through therapy I've learned like if I'm feeling something, try to ask myself, what is this feeling trying to tell me? Like what are my needs? What am I missing?
What are your needs?
And that way it feels a little bit more productive in a way. Like it's not just like debilitating, and I can actually.
It's okay to be debilitating.
It's okay too. But it's also it's information for yourself.
Yeah.
Like if I feel something.
So the thought I had a couple quotes ago, I think like all in all, the book has a lot of like essays, but I feel like the most important like takeaway for me was like I think self-work is really important, no matter like from relationship kind of standpoint, from building yourself, like personal development kind of standpoint, career. I think like you do have to go on this kind of like journey of like soul searching. Work through like what does love mean to you? What does your life mean to you? What do all these things mean to you? And I think it's important to have like that sense of self, you know?
Totally.
That's like what I've gained from this book, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like deeper questions to think about, you know?
Yeah. Actually, now that you point that out, maybe to fine tune the like who I would recommend this to would be people that have some kind of affinity for introspection, because I feel like if someone like doesn't care at all, like this stuff is so annoying to them.
No, for sure. Like if you don't want to hear that advice, it's just like, oh my god, another self-help book shit.
Yeah, but if you're into that, it's so good.
If you're curious about learning about yourself on a deeper level.
If you're a narcissist. No, I'm kidding. No.
If you're a reformed narcissist.
Like literally that goes back to that one CG question that we had a couple months ago where it was like, what's something that you're passionate about or you could talk a lot about? And I said, and like some other people in my group said, like, honestly, like self-growth, introspection stuff. And then someone was like, that's because we're all like selfish people and we think about ourselves and we know ourselves the best. And I was like, oh yeah, that's true. Just thinking about ourselves all the time.
But it's also not productive to think about other people.
Yeah, it is. To care for others and nurture others.
Do you feel like you know someone?
Yeah, some like my best friends usually. Yeah.
Damn, but then I don't have best friends, so we're stuck in our little friend loop.
We're just close friends.
Yeah, we're just close friends. Well, that wraps up our podcast.
And that's a dap.
That's a dab. That's a bab. If you enjoyed this format where we kind of reviewed a book, I think it'd be fun to do in like once a month. Or once every 2 months. Yeah, just a little book club. We can get like the roommates to read books with us too. In fact, you owe us a book club,
Sarah. I was gonna say. I lost a Convio challenge or a game last year. Oh, before Thanksgiving. And my punishment is to host a book club for the roomies, and I have yet to do that. But Amy has yet to put Buster sticker or tattoos on her arm.
If you've read the book before too, and you want to comment like some of your favorite posts in the comments below, we'd love to kind of see where people are at with the book.
Yeah.
And see what quotes stuck out to you guys. Obviously, all of us having different lived experiences will interpret the book in different ways. I am love and relationship and trauma stuff. Sarah's all about self-perception and growing and things. But yeah, it'd be interesting.
Yeah, highly recommend.
But yeah, read the book. It's pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. I can't believe I'm still on like essay 30 or something of
Maybe
101.
It should be your goal to finish a book this year.
I should.
Wait, when you read an essay, do you read like the whole thing in one sitting, or do you read half of it and then run away?
I read the whole thing.
Oh, God, I'm curious. Huh? No, just because like...
There's a lot of information to churn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Like when I was reading the 102 like lines, I had to split that up into like 3 sessions because that was a lot.
Oh, yeah. I was reading the book on my like international flight to Asia.
Oh.
So I had a lot of time to kill. So I was just like low-key speed running the book.
Yeah.
That's why I can't remember what I remember.
You just feel good.
I just feel enlightened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, dokes. We have a special episode planned with some of my physical therapy homies. The goal is to answer kind of like any questions you might have about like physical therapy, working out, injuries. Running, I think, would be interesting, a topic that we want to cover. So if you have any questions about that.
What about like working from a desk or something?
Yeah. Talk about posture. Like, could be literally about anything. I'm going to be grabbing a couple of my close homies. We'll be kind of covering everything low-level physical therapy related. So if you have any questions, please start forwarding them into our YouTube or Instagram.
Forwarding them? Are you a millennial?
Fuck you. What was that thing called? Not inbox.
Like DM.
DM Sarah, DM me if you know us personally. We want to have a good breadth of questions so we can make that episode as fruitful as possible.
And I think that's a wrap for this episode. Thank you guys so much, as always, for tuning in and hanging out with us. We appreciate you so much. But with that, TTYL.